My fiancé said, my bachelorette is a 2-week trip to Europe with my ex. Don't be the controlling FBF. I replied, have a safe flight. Then I canceled our wedding venue, used the deposit to hire a PI, and served her with a lawsuit at the airport gate when she landed. I, 32 male, proposed to Natasha, 29, 8 months ago. We'd been together 3 years, seemed solid. Wedding was set for late October, venue booked, deposits paid, the whole thing. I handled most of the planning because she claimed event planning stressed her out. Translation, I paid for almost everything while she got veto power. 3 weeks ago, she dropped it casually over dinner. So I've been thinking about my bachelorette party. Yeah, what are you thinking? Vegas with the girls. She picked at her salad. Actually, Vanessa suggested we do something different, more meaningful. Vanessa, her best friend since college. The one who posts passive-aggressive quotes about supporting women's choices whenever anyone questions anything. Okay, like what? A trip to Europe, 2 weeks. I put down my fork. 2 weeks? Tash, the wedding's in 6 weeks, that's cutting it really close. It'll be fine. We'd leave in like 10 days, be back with 2 weeks to spare. Who's going? She hesitated. Red flag number 1. Me, Vanessa, Kelsey, and Devin. My brain did a hard stop. Devin? Your ex Devin? He's in our friend group, babe. Has been for years. It'd be weird not to invite him. Devin, the guy she dated for 2 years before me. The one whose Instagram she still liked every post on. The one who just happened to show up at 3 of our dates early on until I said something. You want your ex-boyfriend on your bachelorette trip. God, here we go. She rolled her eyes. This is exactly why I waited to tell you. I knew you'd make it weird. How is this not weird, Natasha? Because we're adults. Devin and I are friends. That's it. We've been over for 4 years. You need to get past this insecurity thing. Insecurity thing? Yeah. It's not attractive. I'm marrying you, aren't I? That should be enough. We went back and forth for an hour. Every concern I raised got flipped into me being controlling, insecure, not trusting her. She pulled out phrases like emotional maturity and modern relationships, and if you really loved me, you'd support this. Finally, I got tired. You know what? Fine. Do whatever you want. Her face lit up. Really? Yeah. Have a safe flight. She kissed my cheek. Thank you, babe. This is why I love you. You get it. I didn't get shit, but I did start planning. Next morning, I called the venue. Talked to the event coordinator, explained I needed to cancel. They were sympathetic but firm, non-refundable deposit of $8,500, unless I could prove extraordinary circumstances. What counts as extraordinary? Illness, military deployment, death in the family. Why are you canceling, if you don't mind me asking? My fiancée is taking a 2-week trip to Europe with her ex-boyfriend as her bachelorette party. Long pause. Sir, I'm going to personally process this cancellation and mark it as an exception. You'll receive your full deposit back within 5 business days. God bless that woman. Next call, my buddy Trevor, who's a lawyer. Not family law, but he knew people. Dude, that's insane, he said. What are you thinking? I need a PI, someone good. Can you ask around? On it. But seriously, you're really doing this? She's going to Europe for 2 weeks with her ex. Yeah, I'm doing this. He got me a name by that afternoon. Dominic, former investigator, now does private work. We met at a coffee shop. Your buddy explained the situation, Dominic said. Here's the reality. I can't follow them to Europe. But I can do extensive background checks, social media monitoring, and I have a contact overseas who can do some limited surveillance if needed. It's pricey. How pricey? For 2 weeks of monitoring? $8,000 minimum. Could go up to 12 depending on what we find and how deep you want to go. The venue deposit would cover it. Do it. Over the next week, Natasha was weirdly giddy. Packing, shopping for cute outfits, planning itineraries with Vanessa over FaceTime. I played it cool. Asked about her trip, seemed interested, acted normal. You're being so great about this, she said the night before leaving. I knew you'd come around. Just want you to have fun. The morning of, I drove her to the airport. She kissed me goodbye, told me she loved me, promised to text when they landed. Enjoy yourself, I said. I waited until her plane was wheels up. Then I called Trevor. Hey man, I need your help with something else. Update 1, 5 days and Dominic sent his first report 3 days into the trip. It was illuminating. Subject and Devon checked into a hotel together in the first city, separate rooms, but adjoining. The other two friends, Vanessa and Qley, were in a different hotel entirely. Wait, what? I called him. They're not even staying together? Correct. Vanessa and Qley are at a hostel about 2 miles away. Natasha and Devon are at a boutique hotel, much nicer. I pulled the booking. It was made 6 weeks ago under Devon's credit card. Both rooms on the same reservation. My hands went cold, 6 weeks ago, before she even told me about the trip. There's more. My contact observed them having dinner last night, just the two of them. Very intimate, hand-holding, prolonged eye contact, that sort of thing. Vanessa and Qley weren't present. Send me everything. The photos came through an hour later. Natasha and Devon at a candlelit restaurant. His hand on hers, her laughing, leaning in close. Another photo of them walking through some plaza, her head on his shoulder. I felt nauseous. Then I felt clarity. Called Trevor again. I need to know my legal options. For what? She used money I gave her for wedding expenses to fund this trip. Can I sue for that? Potentially. How much money are we talking? I'd given her $4,000 3 months ago, specifically for her dress, alterations, and bachelorette expenses. She said the dress was $2,800. I'd seen pictures of her in it. Never occurred to me to ask for receipts. $4,000 that I can prove. Probably more. I'll draft a demand letter. We'll start there. If she doesn't pay, we file a civil suit for fraud and breach of promise to marry. It's an older legal concept, but it still holds up in some cases, especially with proof of deception. Do it. Meanwhile, Natasha was texting me daily. Superficial stuff. The architecture here is amazing. Wish you could see this. Miss you, I replied normally. Sounds great. Have fun. Miss you too. Dominic's updates kept coming. More dinners, sightseeing, just the two of them. Vanessa and Qley appeared in maybe 30% of the photos. The rest, Natasha and Devon, looking very much like a couple on vacation. Day 6, she video called me. I almost didn't answer. Hey babe, she was tipsy, clearly. Just wanted to see your face. Hey, having fun? So much fun. This trip was exactly what I needed. Where are Vanessa and Qley? Brief hesitation. Oh, I think they went to a pub or something. Devon and I just got back from this incredible restaurant. Just you and Devon? Yeah, the other girls wanted to do their own thing. It's fine though, Dev's been a great tour guide. I bet he has. Sounds nice. We talked for a few more minutes. She seemed completely unbothered, completely convinced she was doing nothing wrong. After we hung up, I opened my laptop and started canceling everything. Every single wedding vendor, the caterer, the photographer, the florist, the DJ. Some I lost deposits on. Others were sympathetic when I explained why. Total recovered, about $14,000 of the $32,000 we'd already put down. I'd paid $28,000 of that. She'd paid $4,000. Well, allegedly paid. I was starting to doubt she'd paid anything. My mom called that night. Honey, I just got a call from the florist. They said you canceled. I told her everything. The trip, the ex, the photos, all of it. Silence on the other end. Then, I never liked her. Mom, I didn't. Too entitled. Always thought she was doing you a favor. You're better off, sweetie. Maybe. Didn't feel better yet. Update 2, the return. 2 weeks later, Natasha's flight was landing at 4:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. I knew because she'd texted me the details, asking if I could pick her up. Can't, sorry, stuck at work, grab an Uber? Really? After 2 weeks you can't leave early to get me? Sorry babe, crazy deadline. She sent back an annoyed emoji but didn't push it. Trevor and I were waiting at the airport anyway. Not at arrivals, at her gate. With paperwork. The lawsuit had been filed 3 days prior. Civil suit for $4,000 in fraudulent use of funds, plus damages for emotional distress and breach of contract. The demand letter had been sent to her parents' house, her legal address still on her license, while she was gone. We'd gotten the tracking confirmation, someone signed for it. She hadn't mentioned it. Probably didn't know yet. You sure about this? Trevor asked as we waited by the gate. Completely. Passengers started coming through. I spotted Vanessa first, then Qley. Then Natasha, laughing at something Devon was saying behind her. She saw me and her face lit up. Then she saw Trevor. Then she saw the manila envelope in my hand. Her smile died. Babe, what are you doing here? I walked over, handed her the envelope. Natasha, You're being served with a civil lawsuit for fraud and misappropriation of funds. Details are inside. What? She stared at the envelope like it was a snake. What are you talking about? The $4,000 I gave you for wedding expenses. You used it to fund this trip with Devin. That's fraud. Devin stepped forward. Dude, that's not. Shut up, Devin. This doesn't concern you. Natasha's face went red. You're insane. I used that money for what you gave it to me for. Really? Where's your dress receipt? It's at home. No, it's not. I checked. You know what I did find? A charge on the credit card you don't know I can see. The one you're an authorized user on. $2,100 to a travel agency. Dated the same week I gave you that money. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. You lied about the dress cost. You pocketed the difference and used my money to fund a romantic getaway with your ex. That's fraud, Natasha. The wedding is canceled. All of it. Vendors notified. Venue canceled. We're done. People were staring now. Vanessa tried to intervene. Okay, everyone calm down. Vanessa, you helped her plan this. You knew exactly what this trip was. Don't even start. Natasha found her voice, shrill now. You canceled our wedding. You took a 2-week vacation with another man. What did you think was going to happen? It was a bachelorette party. With your ex-boyfriend, who you stayed in a hotel with, who you had romantic dinners with, while your actual friends stayed somewhere else. Yeah, I know all about it. Her face went white. You had someone follow me? I had someone document what you were doing with money you stole from me. And it's all in the lawsuit. You've got 30 days to respond. My lawyer's info is in there. I turned to leave. Trevor followed. Behind us, Natasha started screaming. You can't do this. You're crazy. I didn't do anything wrong. Devin was trying to calm her down. Vanessa was yelling something at me. Kelsey just looked uncomfortable. I didn't look back. In the parking garage, Trevor shook his head. That was nuclear, man. She deserved it. Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying, damn. We grabbed food. I went home. Sat in my apartment, my name on the lease. Thank God we never moved in together officially. And just breathed. My phone started blowing up around 6 p.m. Texts from her, from Vanessa, from numbers I didn't recognize. I blocked them all except Natasha's. I'd need that for evidence. Her texts were a journey. We need to talk about this like adults. You humiliated me in front of everyone. I'm coming over right now. Devin was just a friend. You're being ridiculous. Fine, don't answer. I can't believe you're doing this over nothing. My lawyer says you don't have a case. That last one made me laugh. She didn't have a lawyer. She couldn't afford one. Update 3. Consequences. The next week was chaos. Natasha tried everything. First, she showed up at my apartment. I didn't let her in. She screamed through the door for 20 minutes until a neighbor threatened to call the cops. I got it on my phone video. More evidence. Then she tried to get to me through mutual friends. Painted herself as the victim. He's controlling. He freaked out over a harmless trip. He's trying to financially ruin me. Some people bought it. Most asked questions. Once they heard about Devin, about the separate hotels, about the photos, opinions shifted fast. Her own sister called me. Bridget. We'd always gotten along. Is it true? She asked. About Devin? Yeah. Jesus, I told her not to go on that trip. I told her it looked bad. She insisted it was fine, that you were cool with it. She told you I approved? Yeah. She made it sound like you were totally supportive. I laughed bitterly. She manipulated both of us. I'm sorry. For what it's worth, you dodged a bullet. The lawsuit moved forward. Natasha finally retained a lawyer. Some guy who clearly took the case because she promised she was the victim. His first demand letter was aggressive. Accused me of harassment, defamation, unlawful surveillance. Trevor destroyed it in his response. Pointed out that hiring a licensed investigator is perfectly legal. That truth is a defense to defamation. That she'd committed fraud and we had evidence. Her lawyer went quiet after that. Discovery was beautiful. We subpoenaed her bank records. Found the travel agency charge. Found charges for the boutique hotel. Her card, despite Devin supposedly booking it. Found Venmo payments between her and Devin going back months. Payments labeled with heart emojis and inside jokes. She'd been planning this for a while. Her desperation escalated. She tried to access the joint savings account we'd opened for the wedding. I'd already emptied it and closed it the day after the airport confrontation. My money anyway. I'd contributed 90% of what was in there. The bank called me to confirm, told me she'd shown up in person demanding access. They informed her the account was closed. She left screaming about financial abuse. Then came the nuclear option from her side. Her mom, Patricia, started calling my family. My mom, my dad, even my grandmother. Sob stories about how I'd abandoned Natasha, how I was cruel, how their family was devastated. My mom shut it down fast. Patricia, your daughter took a 2-week romantic vacation with her ex-boyfriend, using my son's money. He has photos. He has receipts. Maybe you should be asking her what she was thinking. Patricia went silent, hung up, didn't call back. The best part came 3 weeks after the airport. Devin posted on social media a long, whiny post about cancel culture and complicated relationships and how some people can't handle modern love. Comments were ruthless. Bro, you went on vacation with another man's fiancée? Modern love, aka cheating? This ain't it, chief? He deleted it within hours. Too late. Screenshots live forever. Natasha tried one final play. She sent me a letter, handwritten, delivered to my apartment building's office. I made mistakes, I see that now, but I love you. I've always loved you. Devin means nothing. It was just comfort, just familiarity. You're who I want to marry. Please, can we talk? I took a photo of it, sent it to Trevor. More evidence she knew what she was doing. Beautiful. She just admitted to the relationship. The settlement came through last week. She agreed to pay back the $4,000 in installments, $400 a month for 10 months. Not ideal, but better than dragging this out. She also had to sign a statement admitting she'd misused funds intended for wedding expenses. Her lawyer tried to fight that part. Trevor reminded them we could go to trial instead, where all the photos and evidence would become public record. She signed. I saw her one last time at the settlement meeting. She looked terrible, tired, defeated. Devin wasn't with her. Apparently they'd had a falling out, shocking absolutely no one. She tried to talk to me as we left. I really am sorry, okay? That's it? Just okay? What do you want, Natasha? You lied, you stole, you embarrassed yourself and me. You nuked our entire future for a trip with your ex. What is there to say? I thought. She trailed off. I thought I could have both. Have both what? The security of you and the excitement of him. At least she was honest finally. How'd that work out? She didn't answer. I walked away. For real this time. Last thing. My finances took a hit. Lost about $14,000 total on wedding stuff even after the cancellations and the settlement. But honestly, worth every penny. Found out who she really was before I married her, before we bought a house together, before we had kids. Some people told me I was too harsh, that I should have talked to her first, given her a chance to explain. But here's the thing. She had chances. Every time I brought up Devin, every conversation about boundaries, every moment she could have been honest, she chose manipulation instead. The $4,000 lawsuit wasn't really about the money. It was about accountability. She needed to face a consequence that couldn't be argued away or blamed on my insecurity. And she did. I'm doing all right now. Work's busy, apartment's quiet. Started seeing someone new actually. Met her at a friend's party last month. Told her the whole story on our second date, figured I'd better be upfront about the baggage. She laughed and said, "Let me get this straight. Your ex tried to gaslight you into accepting her vacation with her ex. You hired a PI, caught her in the lie, served her at the airport, and sued her for fraud?" Yeah? That's the most competent response to betrayal I've ever heard. You want to grab dinner Friday? We've got our third date this weekend. As for Natasha, last I heard through the social media grapevine, she's single. Devin apparently got back with his own ex-girlfriend within a month of their trip. Vanessa distanced herself after too many 3 a.m. crying phone calls. She's back living with her parents while she figures things out. The monthly payments hit my account like clockwork. $400 every month for the next 8 months. A little reminder that actions have consequences. And honestly, that's enough closure for me. My wife texted, "I'm filing for divorce and telling the judge you've been unstable. I'm getting the house." I replied, "I understand your strategy." Then I emailed her lawyer the 200 pages of her psychiatrist's notes she'd left on our printer. Her lawyer's frantic, "We need to settle" call. I, 37 male, got the text last Thursday at 2 p.m. Was in the middle of quarterly reports when my phone buzzed. "Amber, 35. Just so you know, I'm filing for divorce Monday. My lawyer says we should claim you've been emotionally unstable and verbally aggressive. Makes the custody and assets split easier. I'm getting the house. Don't bother fighting it. Stared at the screen for a solid minute. 7 years of marriage and she's texting me her legal strategy like she's ordering takeout. The casual cruelty of it was almost impressive. Me? I understand your strategy. That's all I sent back. No anger, no begging, no how could you. Just acknowledgement. See, here's the thing about Amber. She's always been overconfident. Thinks she's the smartest person in any room. That confidence makes her sloppy. Case in point. 3 days earlier, I'd come home to find our home office printer still warm. It had been running for a while, judging by the heat. There was a stack of papers on the tray, about 200 pages, still warm. I almost just filed them away without looking. Almost, but the header on the first page caught my eye. Patient, Amber Rodriguez. Therapist, Dr. Helena Westbrook, Side D. Session notes. Detailed psychiatric evaluations. 2 years worth of weekly appointments I didn't even know she was attending. Now I'm not proud of reading them. Invasion of privacy, I get it. But she'd left them on our shared printer, in our shared home office. And after that text about claiming I was unstable, I'm glad I did. The notes were revealing. Documented anxiety disorder, depression, paranoid episodes, multiple sessions about her irrational anger towards spouse, and difficulty maintaining emotional regulation. One note from 6 months ago. Patient admits to fabricating stories about husband's behavior to friends, family, to gain sympathy and support for potential separation. Another from 3 months ago. Patient discussed plan to portray husband as unstable in potential divorce proceedings, despite acknowledging he has never been aggressive or emotionally abusive toward her. She'd literally told her therapist she was planning to lie about me in divorce court, and the therapist had documented it. I took photos of every single page with my phone. Then I carefully put the papers back in a drawer in her desk where she'd apparently meant to file them. That was Tuesday. Her text came Thursday. By Friday morning, I had an attorney. Met with Gregory Finch Friday afternoon. Brought my phone with all the photos. He's mid-50s, been doing family law for 20 years, comes highly recommended. So your wife is threatening to claim you're unstable, Gregory said, scrolling through the photos on my phone. But she's left documented evidence that she's planning to lie about you, has actual diagnosed mental health issues, and has paranoid tendencies. That's about the size of it. Did you remove these documents from the house? No. Took photos, left the originals exactly where she put them. Good. That's very good. He leaned back in his chair. Here's what's going to happen. She'll file Monday, probably. Her lawyer will submit an initial petition painting you as an unfit parent, emotionally volatile, maybe dangerous. They'll request primary custody of your daughter and the house. We have one kid. Zoe, age 5. Smart as hell, looks like her mom, acts like me. The thought of Amber using her as a weapon made my stomach turn. What do? We wait for them to commit. Let them file their claims under oath. Then we respond with evidence that she's been planning to perjure herself. The court does not look kindly on false allegations in custody cases. Won't I need the original documents? Eventually, yes, but first, we need her to go on record with her false claims. Then we file our response with your evidence. At that point, I guarantee her attorney will try to withdraw from the case or push for immediate settlement. Why would her lawyer try to withdraw? Gregory smiled. It wasn't friendly. Because knowingly presenting false testimony is a great way to get disbarred. Once we show him evidence that his client planned to lie under oath, he'll distance himself fast. Made sense. What do I do until Monday? Act normal. Don't let her know you're prepared. Don't engage if she tries to provoke you. Document everything. Texts, calls, interactions. And whatever you do, don't leave the house. If she gets you to move out before the filing, she can claim abandonment. Spent the weekend being a ghost in my own house. Amber was cold, barely spoke to me. Zoe asked why mommy was being weird. I told her grown-ups sometimes need space to think. Sunday night, Amber tried to start a fight. Came into the living room while I was watching TV. You're really not going to say anything? Not going to try to work this out? You texted me your legal strategy, Amber. What's there to work out? So that's it? 7 years and you just give up? The irony was impressive. You gave up when you started planning to lie about me in court. Her face went white. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you don't. I'll see you at the hearing. She stormed off. Heard her on the phone in the bedroom, angry whispers. Probably to her lawyer or her sister Meredith, who's been feeding her entitled nonsense for years. Monday came. Amber left early with Zoe for school drop-off. I worked from home, waited for the inevitable. The email from her attorney came at 11 a.m. Derek Paulson, Esquire. Generic but aggressive cover letter, petition attached. Read exactly like Gregory predicted. I was emotionally unstable, verbally aggressive, created an unsafe environment. She wanted primary custody, supervised visitation for me, and exclusive use of our house. The house is mine, by the way. Bought it 2 years before we met. My name on the deed. She's not on the title, never contributed to the mortgage, but apparently her lawyer thought they could swing it anyway. Forwarded everything to Gregory. He called within 10 minutes. This is even better than I hoped. She's made specific claims about your behavior that we can directly refute with her own psychiatric records. Send me those photos now. All of them? Every single page. Spent the next hour uploading 200 photos to a secure file share. Gregory called back around 1 p.m. I'm preparing our response now. We'll file tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to email Mr. Paulson with a preview of what's coming. A preview? Just enough to make him panic. Want to give him a chance to talk sense into his client before this gets uglier. Gregory's email went out at 3 p.m. I wasn't copied on it, but he told me the gist. We have documented evidence that your client has been planning to present false testimony regarding my client's mental state and behavior. Said evidence includes your client's own psychiatric records, describing her plan to make these false claims. We strongly suggest you review your client's statements before proceeding. The response came in 90 minutes. Not from Derek Paulson. From Amber herself texting me. What the hell did your lawyer send to mine? Derek is freaking out and won't tell me why. What did you do? Nothing yet. Just letting your lawyer know we have evidence. Evidence of what? Your psychiatric records. The ones you printed on Tuesday and left in the office. The ones where you told Dr. Westbrook you were planning to lie about me in court. Nothing. For 5 minutes. Amber, you went through my private medical records? You left them on our printer, in our shared office. Did you forget? That's illegal. You can't use those. Actually, documents found in a shared marital residence are discoverable. Gregory checked. But hey, your lawyer can explain it to you. This is insane. You're being insane right now. The projection was almost funny. Me, I'm being factual. You planned to lie under oath. Your therapist documented it. Now your lawyer knows. See you in court. Blocked her number after that. Gregory said not to engage further, and I was happy to comply. Update 1, 3 days later. The fallout came faster than expected. Tuesday morning, Gregory filed our response. It was brutal. Point-by-point refutation of every claim Amber made, supported by her own psychiatric records. We included excerpts, the parts where she admitted to fabricating stories, the part where she discussed her strategy to paint me as unstable. We also included character references from my employer, our daughter's preschool teacher, and 3 of our neighbors, all attesting to my stability, involvement in Zoe's life, and general decent human being status. By Tuesday afternoon, Derek Paulson sent Gregory an email requesting an emergency conference call. Gregory called me first. Her lawyer wants to settle immediately. That was fast. He's in panic mode. Once I showed him the full extent of records, he realized his client lied to him. He's trying to minimize damage to his own reputation. What's Amber saying? According to Derek, she's claiming you stole her medical records and we can't use them. He informed her that's not how it works. Documents left in a shared space are fair game, especially when they're directly relevant to claims made in the case. So what now? We wait for their offer, but don't expect anything reasonable. She still thinks she has leverage. The offer came Wednesday morning, via Derek, not directly from Amber. She wanted 50-50 custody. She keeps the house, which again is solely in my name. I pay her $3,000 a month in spousal support for 5 years, and we split all other assets evenly. Gregory laughed when he read it to me. She's delusional. You own the house outright. She has no claim to it. She works full-time making $65 a year, you make $120K. The spousal support calculation in this state would be maybe $1,500 per month for 3 years maximum, and that's being generous to her. What do we counter with? The truth. 50-50 custody is fine. You want a co-parent anyway. But she doesn't get the house. Spousal support is $1,000 a month for 2 years maximum, and we're splitting only the actual marital assets, which is basically just the stuff we bought together during the marriage. Send it. While the lawyers negotiated, Amber's family started their campaign. Her sister Meredith showed up at my office Thursday afternoon. Security called me down to the lobby. "You need to drop this," Meredith said without preamble. "You're humiliating her." She tried to lie about me in court. She humiliated herself. She's struggling. She has anxiety, depression, you know this, and you're using it against her like some kind of monster. I'm using the fact that she planned to commit perjury against her. Big difference. You violated her privacy. She left 200 pages of documents on a shared printer. That's not violation, that's carelessness. Meredith's face went red. The judge is going to see you for what you are. A manipulative, controlling. The judge is going to see documented evidence that your sister planned to lie under oath. That's what the judge will see. Security escorted her out after she started yelling about men like me. Fun times. That night, Amber tried a different tactic. She brought Zoe home from daycare and immediately started crying in front of our daughter. "Mommy's sad because Daddy is being mean," she said, loud enough for me to hear from the kitchen. I walked into the living room. "Zoe, honey, can you go play in your room for a few minutes? Mommy and I need to talk." Once Zoe was gone, I turned to Amber. "Don't put our daughter in the middle of this." "I'm not putting her anywhere. I'm upset, and she's asking why." "You're manipulating her. Stop. You're the one who..." "I'm the one who has evidence you plan to lie in court. That's all this is. You made choices, now you're dealing with them. But Zoe doesn't need to be part of your drama." She tried to argue, but I walked away. Went upstairs, called Gregory, told him about the incident. He said to document it. Time, date, what was said. Said it might be relevant if custody became contentious. Friday brought a new development. Derek Paulson requested another call. This time he wanted both of us on the line. Him, Gregory, me, and Amber. "My client wants to address the situation directly," Derek said. Gregory muted our side. "This is unusual, but it might move things along. You comfortable?" "Yeah." He unmuted. "We're here." Amber's voice came through, tight and angry. "I want you to destroy those records." "No," I said. "They're private. You have no right. You left them where I could find them. That's on you." "Derek says they're not even admissible," Gregory cut in. "That's not accurate. Your own attorney has acknowledged that documents found in a shared marital residence are discoverable, particularly when they directly refute claims made in legal filings." Silence on their end. Then Derek spoke. "Look, we can keep fighting this, but it's going to get expensive for both parties. My client is willing to withdraw her initial claims about your mental state and behavior if you agree not to introduce the psychiatric records in court." "Counteroffer?" Gregory said smoothly. "Your client withdraws all false claims, pays my client's legal fees incurred so far. That's $4,500. And we settle on the following terms: 50-50 custody. My client retains the house as his separate property. Spousal support is $800 a month for 18 months, and we split the actual marital assets 50-50. "That's not acceptable," Derek started. "Then we see you in court," Gregory interrupted, "where we will absolutely introduce every page of those records, and where my client will file a separate complaint about your client's attempted perjury. Your call." The line went quiet. I could hear muffled arguing on their end. After about 2 minutes, Derek came back. "We need to discuss with our client. We'll respond Monday." They hung up. Gregory sounded satisfied. "They'll take it. Derek knows he screwed up taking her case without doing due diligence. He wants out clean." "What if they don't? Then we go to trial, and they lose badly, but they'll take it. Trust me." Update 2. The settlement Monday came with radio silence. No call, no email. By Tuesday afternoon, I was getting anxious. Then Wednesday morning, Derek Paulson sent a new proposal. They'd accept our terms with modifications. 1,000-month spousal support for 18 months instead of $800. She doesn't pay my legal fees, and I give her the Subaru, which is in my name but she drives. Gregory called me. This is basically a yes with them trying to save face. The car is worth maybe $15. You'll spend more than that if we go to trial. My fees alone would eat that up. Your call, but I'd recommend accepting. Take it. I'm done with this. Smart. I'll draft the settlement agreement. Papers were signed Friday. Divorce would be final in 90 days per state law. Custody arrangement started immediately. Week on, week off with Zoe. Amber moved out the following Monday. Her parents came with a U-Haul. Her mom, Diana, tried to start something with me on the porch. You should be ashamed. Using a woman's mental health issues against her. I used documented evidence that she planned to lie under oath. If she's ashamed, that's her conscience, not me. She needed that house. She has nowhere to go. She has a full-time job and family willing to help her. She'll be fine. Diana called me a few more names, but her husband, Amber's dad, Glenn, pulled her away. Diana, leave it. Let's just get her moved. Glenn caught my eye and gave me a small nod, almost like an apology. Interesting. The next few weeks were adjustment period. Zoe struggled a bit with the new schedule, lots of questions about why mommy and daddy weren't living together. We kept it simple. Sometimes grown-ups are better as friends than married. Amber, meanwhile, was spinning a narrative to anyone who'd listen. According to mutual friends, I was abusive, had stolen her medical records, and used her mental illness against her. Some people bought it. Lost a few acquaintances who didn't bother asking my side. But most people saw through it, especially when Gregory sent a carefully worded letter to a few key parties, not disclosing the records, just noting that all claims made by Ms. Rodriguez regarding Mr. Garrett's behavior have been withdrawn and were found to be without merit. The real consequences came from an unexpected direction. 3 weeks post-settlement, I got a call from Dr. Helena Westbrook's office. The office manager, not the doctor herself. Mr. Garrett, I'm calling regarding the documents that were submitted in your divorce case. Oh crap. Yes? Dr. Westbrook has reviewed the situation and needs to inform you that she's filing a complaint with the state medical board. Against me? No, sir. Against herself. Wait, what? The office manager explained. Dr. Westbrook had realized upon reviewing the records that came up in court that she'd failed to adequately address Amber's stated plan to commit perjury. As a mandatory reporter in certain situations, she should have documented her concerns more carefully or potentially refused to continue treatment. She's being proactive about this, the manager said. But she wanted you to know that Ms. Rodriguez is no longer her patient. She terminated the therapeutic relationship last week. Amber lost her therapist because of her own actions. The irony wasn't lost on me, but the hits kept coming for Amber. Her workplace got involved next. Amber works in HR for a mid-sized company. Apparently, she'd been telling coworkers about her abusive ex-husband and how she'd barely escaped. One of her coworkers knew me professionally, small world, and asked if I was okay. I kept it brief. The divorce is finalized. All of her claims about my behavior were withdrawn. We have equal custody. That's all I can say. Word got back to her employer's leadership. They started asking questions about why their HR manager was making domestic violence allegations that apparently weren't true. Created liability concerns for the company. Amber got a formal reprimand for discussing personal matters inappropriately at work, and was told any further incidents would result in termination. Heard about this through the grapevine. Apparently, she ranted about it during a pickup exchange. Meredith was there and said loud enough for me to hear, "They're all against you. This is discrimination." I didn't respond. Just got Zoe and left. The final piece of consequence came from an unexpected source, Glenn, Amber's dad. He called me one evening about 6 weeks after the settlement. Awkward opening pleasantries then. "I want to apologize for my daughter's behavior." "You don't need to do that, Glenn." "I do. Diana and we didn't raise her to lie like that. We didn't know what she was planning to do until Diana read the settlement papers. I'm sorry." Didn't know what to say to that. "I appreciate you calling." Amber's always been dramatic. Gets it from her mother, if I'm honest, but this crossed a line. She put Zoe in the middle of her mess, and that's not okay. Zoe's doing all right, we're managing. That's because you're a good dad, no Matt, don't let anyone tell you different. We talked for a few more minutes. He asked about Zoe, I filled him in. He said he and Diana would like to see their granddaughter regularly, regardless of whose custody week it was. I agreed. Grandparents are important. Before we hung up, Glenn said, you did the right thing, standing up for yourself. Don't feel guilty about it. Needed to hear that more than I realized. Update 3. 6 months later. It's been half a year since the divorce finalized. Life's found a rhythm. Zoe adjusted better than expected. She's thriving with the schedule, week with me, week with Amber. Her teacher says she's doing great in kindergarten. Still asks occasional questions about why we're not together, but she's accepted the new normal. Amber and I have a functional co-parenting relationship. Barely. We communicate via a parenting app that timestamps everything. She's tried a few times to renegotiate the custody arrangement, claiming she should have more time. I've declined, reminded her we have a court order, and suggested she file a modification if she feels that strongly. She hasn't filed anything. Too expensive, probably. The spousal support payments end in 12 months. Can't wait. She's complained several times that $1,000 a month isn't enough. I've reminded her she agreed to it. Her housing situation's stabilized. She's renting a small house with help from her parents. Diana's still cold to me, but Glenn comes to Zoe's school events and is cordial. We've had coffee twice while waiting for parent-teacher conferences. The social fallout continues in small ways. Some mutual friends chose sides, most chose mine once they understood what actually happened. Amber tried to organize a support group for people going through divorces, which seemed like an excuse to bash me to a new audience. It fell apart when someone asked why all her claims against me were withdrawn. She's dating now. Guy named Teeth, apparently. Met him through some app. Good for her, honestly. Maybe having someone else in her life will reduce the residual anger. On my end, I'm in therapy. Turns out going through someone trying to destroy your reputation does a number on you. Who knew? The therapist specializes in family law trauma. Helpful to process the experience with someone neutral. Started dating casually a few months ago. Nothing serious, just getting back out there. Weird after 7 years of marriage, but not terrible. The house feels different now. Redecorated, got rid of stuff that reminded me of Amber, made it more mine and Zoe's. Her room has her art all over the walls. My space feels lighter. Work's been good. Got a promotion, actually. Timing was weird. Right in the middle of the divorce chaos. But the distraction helped. Making $145 now, which is fortunate because legal fees weren't cheap even with the settlement. The psychiatric records are stored securely with Gregory's office. We never had to introduce them in court, thank God. But they exist as insurance. Gregory says to keep them for at least 5 years in case Amber tries to refile or modify custody with new false claims. Meredith sent me a Facebook message last month. Long rant about how I ruined her sister's life and destroyed her mental health by weaponizing her therapy records. I didn't respond. Gregory advised against engaging, and he's right. The message did make me think, though. Some people will always see me as the villain in this story. That's fine. I know what happened. I know I defended myself against false allegations using evidence Amber herself created through her own carelessness and dishonesty. Would I do it again? Absolutely. Did it cost me? Yeah. Emotionally, financially, socially. Lost some relationships, gained stress and trust issues, spent $12,000 on legal fees even with the settlement. But the alternative was letting her lie about me under oath, potentially losing custody of my daughter, and setting a precedent that false allegations are consequence-free. So, no regrets. Just relief that it's over. Zoe asked me the other day if I was happy. We were making pancakes on a Saturday morning, her week with me. Yeah, kiddo, I am. Are you? Yeah, I like our house, and I like Mommy's house too. That's good, you should like both. Do you and Mommy like each other? Loaded question from a 6-year-old. We care about each other because we both love you, but we're better living separately. She thought about that while pouring chocolate chips into her pancake. Okay, can I have extra chocolate chips? Sure. That's good enough for me. Zoe's okay, I'm okay, and the truth won. Amber's learning to live with the consequences of trying to game the system. Her reputation took a hit, she lost her therapist, got reprimanded at work, and ended up with less in the settlement than she would have gotten if she'd been honest from the start. All because she left 200 pages of evidence on a printer and texted me her strategy like I was too stupid to do anything about it. The entitlement of it still amazes me. She genuinely believed she could lie, manipulate, and scheme her way to winning. Believed I'd just roll over and accept whatever she claimed. She was wrong. And that's the end of it. Moving forward now, better days ahead. Zoe's asking if we can get a dog. Might be time for that. Fresh start, new chapter, all that. Life goes on.